Hello and welcome to Minds America. My name is Matt Eagan. Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, the electric vehicle and the problems surrounding it, of which there are numerous. So if you've followed the automotive industry for the last few years now, you know, according to mainstream journalists, the EVs are supposed to be taking over the market and phase out the internal combustion engine within the next few years. High-end offerings from companies like Tesla, Porsche, Audi, and Jaguar, and of course then you have EVs for the everyman like Nissan, Kia, Hyundai, and Volkswagen, and now soon to join the race Ford. It isn't too hard to see why some people might get that picture. Perhaps we are heading for an electric future. However, in my opinion, I don't think that's the best option we have on the table. Now, I agree, the internal combustion engine has seen better days and likely in the near future is on its way out. However, if we are going to go for what is best for the environment and what is ultimately right for our planet, I don't think the electric car is the right option. You know, there's a lot of problems surrounding it. I think what is the correct option is the hydrogen fuel cell. In the long run, it's better for the environment and better on our wallets. The biggest reason is because it's an almost entirely clean technology. The production of hydrogen currently is mostly done by reforming natural gases, which when producing hydrogen requires no combustion, therefore no fire, nothing like that, and only leaves behind carbon dioxide as a byproduct. It's incredibly cheap and a likewise very safe method of production. Along with that, hydrogen production via water splitting is being tested, and although not yet currently used commercially, it promises to be renewable and 100% clean for the environment, which is a great step forward if you want to save the environment and protect our planet. Now we compare that to the production of just the battery pack on EV vehicles, which take up most of the vehicle itself. If you look at Tesla, it's the entire undercarriage of this car. It requires the mining of lithium and thus damaging salt flats, which is where most lithium comes from, along with creating vast amount of water pollution, chemical leakage into the soil as a byproduct, and potential air pollution in some situations. And that's just the tip of the iceberg now. One also has to take into the fact that when you recharge the electric car, most of the time you're getting power from a power station that likely runs on coal, oil, or some other fossil fuel, as 64% of power in the United States is generated by fossil fuel. Of course, that's only the United States, and I can't speak for Europe, but that's a high percentage when you think about that. Let's talk about pricing as our final point. The cheapest full EV you can get, meaning not a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, is the Nissan Leaf. And according to Edmunds, it is $30,000. Now it only has an EPA estimated range of 150 miles, leaving it limited to only city or local driving, meaning that any plans of cross-country driving in your low-cost electric vehicle is about as realistic as having a full head of hair after age 35. Not to mention the horrific charging network for vehicles like the Leaf. To get a viable EV that you'd have to buy a Tesla, you'd have to buy one of those cars, as the charging network for Teslas is actually able to support a coast-to-coast drive and not leave you waiting 4 hours for a charge or leave you stranded somewhere in Minnesota because there's no charging station. But to get a Tesla you'd actually want to drive outside your local metropolitan area, you'd have to spend upwards of $50,000. Compare that to a Toyota Corolla, which is $33,000 cheaper and a similar range. Actually, with the Toyota Corolla, you're getting 100 more miles than the Tesla Model Y, as the base spec Corolla gets an EPA estimated range of 436 miles. Compare that to the Tesla Model Y's long range estimate of 315 miles. And remember, these are only estimates. Real-world application with EVs brings your mileage down, because when you run the heater, that's using electric. Running music uses electric. Everything in an EV being powered by an electric battery brings that range down. So your 315-mile range becomes maybe 250 miles, and in a Toyota Corolla, you're getting 400 miles. Now, anyway, EVs are not viable in the long run, as you can see. This is due in no small part to the fact that there is no charging network for anything that doesn't have a Tesla badge, no vehicle under $40,000 with a range over 300 miles, which seems to be the magic number right now for people to want to purchase these cars. And finally, because of the fact that in the end, it isn't a clean solution. The batteries are a dirty technology, and the charging network of these vehicles themselves is a dirty process which heavily relies on fossil fuels. And that, in and of itself, is the problem with electric vehicles. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.